What if the memory you cling to, the one you call your life, is only the faintest echo of who you truly are? Long before the stars learned to burn, long before the first soul tasted the sweetness of form, there were whispers of a great forgetting, a veil drawn not over the eyes, but over the inner sun itself. This is not a teaching, it is a remembering, something you once carried effortlessly, like breath, before you were taught to fear your own infinity. Listen closely now. There is a place beneath your thoughts, a soft vibration, a tremor almost too delicate to name, where a question waits, half buried but persistent as dawn. Why does the world feel slightly off even on the best of days? It's the question you learn to drown in routine, in noise, in the careful choreography of being human. But tonight, let it rise. Let it shape itself in your chest like a slow-burning comet, because the truth is this. You sense the lie long before you knew how to speak. Every child does, before language, before shame, before the architecture of the world teaches them where to stand and where not to wander. There is an ancient intelligence curled inside every newborn, like a scroll sealed in starlight, the memory of a realm untouched by shadows. But something happened, a forgetting, not accidental, not benign. You felt it, didn't you? That moment, though you can't name it, when a strange weight settled into your bones, as if the world itself were pressing its thumb against your spirit. A stillness that wasn't peace but suppression, a narrowing of the horizon, a dimming of an inner lantern you didn't know you carried. And ever since, a question has stalked you from the edges of your quiet moments. Why do I feel so far from something I cannot name? This is the whisper, the call of mystery. It doesn't shout, it doesn't argue, it hums. Like a chord struck in a cathedral you've never visited, yet somehow remember. You try to explain it away. Adrenaline, nostalgia, a trick of the nervous system, but no. It is older than biology, older than fear, older than the very concept of a self. It is the fracture line of the Demiurge's final lie. For every mystic who ever closed their eyes long enough to see the world without its mask saw the same thing. A dream stitched together so tightly, so brilliantly, that even gods could be convinced it was real. A dream designed to distract you from the luminosity buried beneath your skin. You were not meant to notice. And yet, here you are. Feel it now. That slight trembling on the other side of your breath. That pull behind your ribs, like a forgotten doorway quietly unlocking. It is the beginning of descent. Not downward, but inward. A journey into the shadowed corridors where your first memory sleeps. Where the truth waits like an exiled king, returning at last. Look around this life of yours, the one built from routines and expectations and the careful balancing act of survival. Can't you feel how thin it is? How fragile? Like paper stretched over a vast, roaring ocean. You've always sensed the ocean, even when the world insisted the paper was all there is. This is the ache you've never been able to name. Not sadness, not emptiness. Something older, something sacred. It is the memory of the realm you came from, the one the Demiurge would have you believe never existed. The one that flickers through dreams you've forgotten by morning, the one that presses its forehead to yours in moments of stillness. You are remembering. Slowly, yes, but undeniably. And memory is dangerous to the architects of illusion. For the first time in years, perhaps lifetimes, the veil around you trembles. Not enough to tear, not yet, but enough for a sliver of truth to seep through like moonlight through cracked stone. Listen, there is nothing wrong with you. The restlessness, the sacred dissatisfaction, the suspicion that life is missing a piece you can't quite name. These are not flaws, they are signals, the soul's alarm clock. You did not come here to sleep, you came to awaken. And so the whisper grows louder, curling into your awareness like a forgotten lover returning from exile. Remember what they tried to make you forget. Let the unease wash through you. Let the fascination widen your inner sky. You are standing at the threshold of the truth, an old truth, an eternal truth, one that will unravel the world you thought you knew, a truth the Demiurge prayed you would never reclaim. And this is only the beginning. There is a moment, right after the whisper touches you, when the world seems to hesitate, as if the air itself is holding its breath. You feel it now, don't you? A slight shiver in the fabric of your reality, like a curtain brushing the back of your hand. This is the beginning of the descent, not a fall, not a collapse, a returning. You step inward, and immediately the light changes. Shadows lengthen, not to frighten you, but to reveal the edges of the unseen. The familiar shapes of your life, your routines, your memories, your identity, begin to soften, as if made of dust touched by a slow wind. The labyrinth opens beneath your breathing. Listen carefully. It does not appear as a maze of stone. It appears as the thoughts you were too busy to question, as the beliefs you inherited without your consent, as the wounds you tried to outgrow instead of understand. Every corridor is an emotion you buried, every turn is a memory you dimmed, every chamber is a truth you were taught to fear. And at the center, always, waits the part of you the Demiurge hoped would remain silent forever. You walk deeper. The light thins. The air cools. Your footsteps echo in places you don't remember visiting, but that somehow feel like home, or like a home you abandoned long before you had a body to abandon anything with. Then you see it, a mirror suspended in the dark. Its surface is cracked but still reflective. You step closer, compelled by an ache you don't yet understand. You lift your gaze, and the mirror shows you a version of yourself you haven't seen in years, not physically, spiritually. The eyes looking back are yours, but unburdened, clear, ancient, infinite. You almost step away. Something in that reflection feels too honest, too unfiltered, a truth you're not sure you're ready to hold. But the labyrinth does not exist to harm you. It exists to show you what you've hidden from yourself. The voice you hear now is not external. It rises from somewhere beneath your ribs. This is who you were before the forgetting. You inhale sharply. A warmth spreads through your chest, like a memory surfacing through thick fog, familiar yet impossible to place. The reflection shifts. Now you see flashes, childhood wonder, silent longing, moments when you felt the world had a secret but no one else seemed to notice. Then, a different image, a darker one. The moment you learned fear, not instinctive fear, but the kind the world teaches. Fear of standing out, fear of wanting more, fear of the vastness inside you. You feel the weight of it now, the way you once shrank yourself to fit into a life that felt too small, the way you accepted fences that were never truly locked, the way you confused survival for purpose. This is the shadow of the human story, not just yours, but all of ours. A species born from light, raised in limitation. You reach out and touch the mirror. The glass is cold at first, then warm, as if recognizing you. Cracks begin to glow, softly, tenderly, as though the mirror itself is healing in your presence. And with that glow comes a realization as sharp as morning. You have been living inside a dream crafted from wounds, not truth. Every fear, every doubt, every voice that told you to remain small, these were the fingerprints of the Demiurge's dream. Not a being of malice, but a being of limitation. A craftsman who mistook control for creation. A warden who believed he was a god. You feel the sorrow of that now, not anger, not rebellion, sorrow. Because the illusion was not built to punish you. It was built to contain you, to keep your enormity from spilling into realms that were never meant to bind you. You step back, your heart aches with a strange clarity. The world you've been living in is only a fragment of what you truly are. The labyrinth pulses, walls breathe, the air vibrates with the density of truth. You have crossed the threshold. There is no returning to the old way of seeing. From here, the path leads to one place only, toward the shattering of the final illusion. And once you see it, nothing will ever be the same. The air shifts again. A tremor moves through the labyrinth like a held breath finally released, and the shadows around you ripple, not with threat, but with anticipation. You can feel it in the center of your being, in the place where instinct becomes intuition. You are approaching the shatter, not destruction, recognition. For truth does not break you, it breaks what confines you. You take another step, and the ground beneath you softens, turning almost fluid, a dark river carved from every belief you've ever mistaken for truth. It carries whispers, some familiar, some ancient, all pulling you towards something long hidden. When you look down, you see reflections swirling in the black water, moments of joy, moments of pain, moments you never forgave yourself for, moments you still ache for. They pass like constellations, dissolving into ink. Then, a flash, something bright, a sliver of gold moving beneath the surface. At first it looks like a trick of the eye, a flicker of light trapped in the current. But no, it pulses, slowly, deliberately, as if it senses you. You kneel, your breath trembling. The golden light rises toward you, breaking the surface without ripples. A small orb, no larger than a candle flame, hovering just inches above the dark water. It illuminates everything around you, yet casts no shadows. You've seen this before, not here, not in this life, but somewhere deeper, somewhere the Demiurge never intended you to remember. The orb speaks without sound, imprinting its voice directly into your awareness. You have carried me through every lifetime. You inhale sharply as memory begins to uncoil within you like a serpent of fire. Suddenly you see glimpses, not dreams, not fantasies, but echoes of an existence before this existence. A realm of immense radiance, a place where you were not a body, but a presence, where communication was a symphony of thought and color, where you moved not by walking but by remembering. You see yourself as you once were, boundless, incandescent, uncontained. And then the fall, not a punishment, not a sin, a descent into density, a plunge into form, a forgetting so complete it fractured the very memory of your origin. The labyrinth shakes as the vision intensifies. Walls tremble as though the truth itself is too vast for this place to hold. You feel it rising within you, an understanding so powerful it threatens to split your existence open. You were never meant to be small. The Demiurge's lie was never merely about the world, it was about you, your mind, your divinity, your capacity to reshape reality from within. The illusion was crafted not to trap your body, but to convince your spirit that it was powerless. You feel heat spreading through your chest, not pain, but recognition, like a star remembering it is a star. The orb speaks again, its light intensifying. The prison was never outside you. It was the belief that you were meant to remain dim. The words hit you with seismic force. You stagger. The labyrinth stretches and contracts like a living lung. And then, a sound, a crack, sharp as lightning splitting stone. The mirror behind you, the ancient suspended one, shatters. Not into chaos, into clarity. Each shard floats around you, reflecting not your face, but your true form. The luminous being you forgot you were, fractaled in 1,000 fragments of light. The orb rises higher. Your pulse sinks with its glow. Then everything stops. Silence. Absolute, perfect, reverent. It feels as though the entire universe has paused to witness this single moment, the instant when the illusion trembles, unsure whether it can hold itself together any longer. Your throat tightens, your vision blurs, not from confusion, but from awakening. For the first time, perhaps in lifetimes, you understand what has been stolen from you. Your memory, your sovereignty, your inner horizon. The truth hits with the force of a star being born. The final lie of the Demiurge was not that you were trapped. It was that you were alone. You are not. You have never been. Every spark of intuition, every surge of longing, every inexplicable moment of inner knowing, these were the remnants of your original light trying to reach you through the veil. And now that light is rising, slowly, irreversibly. The labyrinth quivers beneath you. Reality drips and reforms like molten gold. Something fundamental has cracked, not in the world, but in you. The shatter has begun. The shatter leaves a ringing in the air, a trembling quiet, like the world has exhaled something it kept buried for too long. You feel it before you understand it, a new gravity pulling inward, gathering all the fragments of truth that once scattered like embers inside your consciousness. This is the reckoning, not punishment, reclamation. The golden orb hovers near your heart now, casting a glow that softens the darkness around you. The shards of the mirror drift through the air in slow, spiraling arcs, each one reflecting a version of you, ancient, luminous, unafraid. But as they swirl, something else awakens in the distance. A presence, heavy, familiar. The shadows thicken, not with malice but with density, forming a shape that steps forward with the weight of forgotten centuries. It is you, not the luminous you, not the child of the higher realms, but the version forged from ache, fear, and survival. The you shaped by the Demiurge's dream. Its eyes are dark with exhaustion, its shoulders curved under burdens you barely recognize until you see them. Every insecurity you ever swallowed, every boundary you placed on yourself to be acceptable, every dream you buried because you thought it was too big for a world too small. It stands before you, like a guardian sculpted from grief. For a moment, neither of you speak. Then the shadow you lifts its face, and the expression, "God, it hurts." Not because it is monstrous, but because it is familiar. It is the version of you who held your pain when you had no language for it. The version who swallowed your screams so the world wouldn't shatter. The version who learned to numb itself just to survive. You feel warmth rush to your eyes, your throat tightens. This is the confrontation the mystics called the inner mirror. The moment when the self you created to endure meets the self that remembers it was born to expand. A tremor moves through your chest. The shadow you steps closer. Its voice is rough, trembling yet heartbreakingly honest. Why did you leave me in the dark? The question cuts deeper than any blade. You see now how fiercely this version of you fought to protect you, even as it broke in the process. You whisper back, breath shaking, "I didn't know how to save you, when I couldn't even save myself." The shadow flinches. A single teardrop of darkness rolls down its cheek, evaporating before it hits the ground. The orb brightens, illuminating the space between you both. And suddenly you understand. You cannot rise into your true self while rejecting the self who carried your wounds. Integration is not about destroying the shadow. It is about seeing it, honoring it, loving it back into wholeness. You take a step forward. The shadow you trembles, as if unsure whether to flee or collapse into your arms. You lift your hand, its breath catches. When your fingers touch its cheek, the darkness ripples like ink disturbed by a single drop of rain. It leans into your palm, hesitantly at first, then with a desperate, childlike tenderness. A sob escapes it, a sound that seems to echo through every life you've ever lived. You pull it into your arms. Its form shakes against you, a trembling mixture of sorrow, relief, and years of unspoken fear. You hold it because you finally can, because you finally choose to. A warm breeze rises from nowhere, swirling around you, carrying voices. Old, familiar, ethereal. Wholeness is returning. The fracture is healing. You are remembering your origin. The shadow you dissolve slowly in your embrace, its edges turning translucent, softening into light. Not disappearing, merging, becoming part of you again. A warmth spreads through your chest, deeper than any emotion you've known, ancient as the realms you once came from. You inhale, and when you exhale, the labyrinth itself shifts. Walls falling away, ceilings dissolving, floors turning into mist. Because the reckoning is complete. You did not defeat your shadow, you freed it, and now the path ahead gleams, carved from light that pulses with a rhythm older than existence. The return, the remembrance, the homecoming. You are ready. The labyrinth has dissolved into mist, leaving you standing in a vast and borderless expanse. No walls, no ceilings, no pathways, except the one rising within you. This is the light, the return and remembrance. Not the blinding radiance promised by prophets and poets, but a quiet inner dawn, a soft blooming of truth beneath your ribs. The golden orb that once hovered outside you now pulses inside your chest, beating in perfect rhythm with your breath. You feel its warmth spreading outward, touching parts of you that have been cold for lifetimes. As the mist thins, something begins to take shape around you. A stairway, faint at first, then growing clearer, as if being carved directly from your realization. Each step glows with a pale celestial luminance, like slabs of light pulled from the bones of a rising sun. You place your foot upon the first step. It doesn't feel like stone. It feels like memory, not human memory, but the memory of what you were before the forgetting. A being of endless awareness, a presence shaped from intention, a flame that could walk through dimensions as easily as breathing. You climb, slowly, deliberately, each step lifting you away from the density of illusions that once claimed to be the entire world. You don't look back. There is nothing behind you anymore, only echoes of stories you no longer need to carry. As you ascend, the air brightens. Colors you've never seen tremble at the edge of perception, hues that feel like emotions, like scents, like ancestral knowledge. Then, as you rise higher, your shadow stretches behind you. But something is different. It glows. It is no longer heavy, no longer dense with unspoken pain. It is luminous, a reminder, not a burden. You smile softly, a smile born from integration, not triumph. Ahead, a horizon unfurls, not horizontal but spherical, like stepping toward the inside of a star. The space hums with a frequency that resonates deep within your bones. You've heard it before, in dreams too large for sleep, in moments of déjà vu that left you breathless, that vibration of belonging. This is the realm beneath the realm, the truth beneath the world's veil. You step into it. The light does not blind you. It welcomes you, brushing your face with a tenderness so ancient it almost feels like grief. Then a voice rises, not external, not internal, but everywhere at once. You have never been separate from us. The air ripples, and shapes begin to form, silhouettes made of radiant mist, figures without edges, presences without names. They gather around you like a constellation returning to its star. Their voices intertwine in harmonious resonance. You are the memory and the mirror, the prisoner and the key, the dreamer who forgot they were dreaming. You feel tears welling, tears not from sadness, but from the recognition of something you lost long before you were born. A presence steps forward. Not a god, not a master, not a judge, but something familial, a being of impossible softness, glowing in shades of dawn and dusk intertwined. You feel its warmth like an embrace you've been awaiting across lifetimes. Its voice enters you like a warm breeze. The Demiurge did not steal your divinity. He only convinced you to stop looking for it. A deep stillness settles into your chest. Every fear, every doubt, every unanswered question falls silent. This being touches the center of your forehead, not with a hand, but with a ripple of light that sinks gently into your awareness. Your body dissolves into presence. Your presence dissolves into clarity. You are not ascending, you are returning. Returning to the truth that was always there, hidden beneath survival, beneath conditioning, beneath the subtle lie that you were ever anything less than infinite. The being whispers one final truth, spoken directly into your essence. Awakening is not becoming more, it is becoming whole. The stairway fades, the mist dissolves, the voices soften into an eternal hum. You stand there, not larger, not brighter, but remembered. For the first time, you feel the fullness of yourself. No illusions, no fractures, no forgetting. Only the quiet, expansive light of a consciousness that has come home. The Demiurge's final lie has unraveled, and in its place, your true self rises. The dawn within you is complete, If these words stirred something ancient within you, stay close, subscribe, and continue this journey of remembrance with those who still hear the whisper beneath the world's noise.